What is up, guys? We just hit 300 subs, so here is another appreciation video. I want to do something of value for you guys each time we hit these milestones, and I figured this time we'll do a deep dive into my favorite aspect, the justice aspect. So we can all agree that Marvel Champions is the best game in the world, but for me, what makes it different from every other game is the dynamic of flipping from alter ego to hero form. It is super duper fun being Peter Parker and then donning the mask to flip over and become Spider-Man. But for me, what is even more fun is whenever Spidey is hurt or injured and I know I have to flip back to Peter to rest and recover. So, why should you want to flip? Well, the first big reason is to take advantage of amazing alter ego actions. So first, let's take a look at Peter right here. He's a genius. His effect, scientists resource generate a mental resource limit once per round. That means that if you're in alter ego form, you can generate this mental resource to use every single round. If you stay in Spider-Man form the whole entire game, you're missing out on an extra resource that could be a lot of fun and could be very advantageous. Next, let's take a look at these player cards right here. These are super duper strong player cards, just some random powerful ones that I gathered here. So the first one is the Golden City. This is a Black Panther card right here. A 2-cost support, alter ego action, exhaust the Golden City, and draw 2 cards. This is half the cost of Avengers Mansion and double the resources. Super duper strong, but you can only use it in alter ego. Next, let's take a look at Aunt May. This is a Spider-Man card. A 1-cost support, alter ego action, exhaust Aunt May, heal 4 damage from Peter Parker. This is arguably one of the strongest healing cards in the entire game, and super duper efficient. But once again, you can only use it in your alter ego. Lastly, this is a basic card, so you can include this card in any deck. Meditation. A 0-cost event, alter ego action, exhaust your alter ego, and play a card from your hand, reducing its resource cost by 3. This is super duper good for getting expensive cards out. So if you flip down constantly, you can always take advantage of these super powerful alter ego actions that you won't be able to use otherwise. Next, let's take a look at the reasons why you need to flip down. So there are some really nasty encounter cards that will force you to flip over to alter ego form. So let's take a look at this one right here, Seduced. This is a card from the Enchantress module set, which is recommended whenever you're playing Loki. So when you get this card, you attach it to your identity. You cannot make basic attacks or play attack events. So you're pretty much neutered the entire game, and you really can't win when you have this card attached to your identity. The alter ego action, spend an energy and mental resource to discard this card. That means you only get rid of this card if you're in your alter ego. So if you're not able to flip, or if flipping causes a villain to scheme out, then this card could be a game ender. That's what we always want to be able to flip. Next, let's take a look at friends and family right here. This is an obligation. While in hero form, increase the resource cost of each event you play by 1. Alter ego action, discard 1 identity-specific card from your hand to discard this obligation. So if you get this card, all of your events are going to be super duper expensive, and you probably won't be able to play much, especially if you get this early game or late game. So when you get a card like this, you want to flip over back to alter ego to get rid of it. But once again, if you can't, or flipping over causes the villain to scheme out, then that could be really bad. The justice aspect allows for flipping. It is known for being the flipping aspect because of its obvious threat removal. But what I really like are cards that help with threat management. So let's take a look at 4 Justice right here. This is one of the most well-known Justice cards. It was from the core set. 4 Justice is a 2-cost event. Hero action, thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, 4 threat instead if you pay for this card using a mental resource. So I like this card, but a thwart action like this is very surface level for what it means to be playing Justice and doesn't represent the intricacies of the yellow aspect. Let's take a look at these cards that I like a lot more. So first we have Under Surveillance. This is a 2-cost upgrade attached to the main scheme, max 1 per scheme. Increase the target threat value of the attached scheme by 4. So unlike 4 Justice right here, if there is no threat on the scheme, you can still play Under Surveillance and get extreme value out of it because it increases the target threshold of the main scheme by 4. So even if there is no threat, you still create breathing room for yourself. Also, if you're confused, so you can't thwart, you can still play the Under Surveillance. I like a card like this a lot more because it helps manage threat versus a card like 4 Justice. Next, let's take a look at this card right here, Foiled. This is a 0-cost event, Interrupt. Note that it's not a hero interrupt, so you can play it in alter ego or hero form. When a boost card is turned face up during a scheme activation, cancel its boost icons. I love this card when you're playing Iron Man because you can for sure know what the villain is going to scheme at because they won't get a boost card because the Foiled here can cancel that boost. Lastly, let's take a look at Global Logistics right here. This is a 0-cost event. Exhaust 1 shield card you control. Look at the top 4 cards of the player deck or encounter deck. discard any number of those, and put them back in any order that you want. So this is a super powerful card to manipulate the encounter deck as well, and kind of just know for sure what you're going to get. You can give the villain a 0 boost. You can make sure they don't get an advance, and it just helps a lot when you're in Arch Eagle. But you have to be playing the Shield archetype if you want to take advantage of this card. So to me, Justice is the most versatile aspect. Leadership is obviously very versatile as well, and it's my second favorite aspect, but the versatility to me means being able to play at a high level in any situation, no matter what scenario. So there are scenarios like Collector 1 that counter allies because any card that leaves play goes into the collection, and getting encounter cards like these guys may be difficult for leadership to handle with no reliable way to flip down because the villain may scheme out. Having the flexibility to flip down whenever you want and having the threat managed gives you more room for more options. If you want to run allies, you can still do that in Justice because there are great Justice allies that you can flood your deck with. When I play Justice, I usually run 0 of these thwart events due to lack of versatility. Because if there is no threat on any scheme, thwart events are useless, but playing cards like Under Surveillance or having any upgrades or supports like a Beat Cop that can remove 1 threat per turn while it's on a field, or an ally is never useless. The versatility of Justice is even more pronounced in multiplayer. I play games where everyone is Justice and games where I'm the only Justice player. Since I'm able to handle the threat, I can always fill in for whatever is needed, and if everyone has the threat managed, I can flip over and take advantage of my Arch Eagle actions right here. This will create an advantage for us while simultaneously lessening attacking pressure from the villain. And since I'm in Arch Eagle, the villain will scheme to create some threat that we already have handled. Justice is an aspect I'll play when I don't know what the other players will play because I know I can do everything. Justice definitely didn't used to be my favorite aspect, but learning how to flip over safely unlocked another level to my game. So I definitely recommend any new player to try it out as well. What do you guys think? Do you like playing Justice? I hope you guys were able to get some value out of this video, and thank you for all the support.